It's Sunday, my day of rest, and it's a good thing that it is as well because my grounding sheet and grounding mat arrived yesterday. And so I'm going to give you my first impressions of using it last night, the grounding sheet, and yesterday using the grounding mat underneath my desk for part of the afternoon and then again this morning, because I did feel effects of it, quite significant effects of it. And so I wanted to let you know about that because I know a lot of you are interested in that. And Brenda Cat's in here with me as well for this. Now, I got the sheet and it's about probably just over 1 meter in width and it stretches right across the bed. So it goes from my shoulder to just about the top of my legs when I'm laying on it. So a significant grounding effect. This sheet is organic cotton and it's got like silver threads running through it. I also purchased a tester. So this is a tester that tells you whether something's grounded or not, because I want to know whether it's working right. And so I've tested it all out, and I've tested whether if you put a sheet on top of it, whether it works. It doesn't. So they all work. Now it came with this little leaflet, and so I'll explain to you a little bit about this earthing. What is earthing? What on earth is earthing? The earth is a massive reservoir of negatively charged free electrons. Without a connection to earth, the cells in our body are unable to balance the positive charge, which results from things like electron deficient free radicals. When we use the earthing products, the positive and negative ions are attracted to clump together, and the negative ions enter the human body to keep our health. So I've heard it described as we discharge, and like we discharge our energy. So our cells, well, we are biological beings, right? But we're electrical biological beings. And so all of our cells have a charge. Now, just like magnets, if you have opposing forces in magnets, they repel each other, or is it the same? Now, opposing forces in magnets pull together, right? Clump together, and the same, if you've got the same polarity, then they repel. Same thing with our cells too. And so when we're not discharged, when we are not grounded, our cells will clump together, and when they clump together, they don't move and function very well. If you think about it, if cells are all clumped together, they don't have much surface area. There might be blockage of the receptors, like hormone receptors, things like that. It doesn't allow for the free flowing of energy, of perhaps nutrients going in, ATP being made, whatever. And so it doesn't function very well when they're all clumped together. And so you can see there are videos on YouTube of looking at blood before and after grounding, and there's a significant effect from red blood cells being clumped together to them flowing freely and repelling each other. And so this is scientific. It's not just woo kind of stuff. It says, what is the benefit of earthing? Improve sleep. I've got a lot to say about that. Relieve snore, don't know. Regulate hormone, probably. Like I said, I think it will affect the availability of hormone receptors. Perhaps not the hormones themselves, who knows? But the hormone receptors, because we can increase a hormone, right? But if there's something wrong with the hormone receptors, then it doesn't matter how much hormone you've got going on. Anyway, improve blood circulation. I've got something to say about that. Reduce stress, anxiety, irritability. Let's see. Reduce electrosensitivity. And so apparently this is going to, because we're affected by all the electronics that are around us, right? So we're absorbing some of that energy. And so when we can discharge through these devices or through standing on the earth or on the sand, whatever, then yeah, it is supposed to be able to clear us of that energy. Maintain bioelectrical balance and supply electrons in times of normal inflammatory requirements. Reduces inflammation. I've got something to say about that. Anti-aging. Antioxidant. Anti-inflam. Improved immune function. Oh, I hope so. Accelerated recovery from intense athletic activity. Now that is something I have been testing by going to the beach after I've done my intense athletic activity, and grounding on the beach, it happens for sure. I felt a change after training and my energy is really high. There's like a buzz going on inside of me. And within about 5 to 6 minutes on the beach, I'm feeling extremely calm, as if I haven't exercised. And so that definitely works. But do these devices work? Well, last night I had a terrible night's sleep. I'll put here, I had to let the cat out, she was being a pest. So if you're not aware of sleep tracking devices, this graph here, there, shows you just how much I woke up last night. What it felt like to me was drifting off into sleep. I obviously had a bit of sleep, and then I'd be jolted awake. Like that feeling of falling, you know? Have you had that when you fall asleep and you've got that feeling of falling and it wakes you back up again? It was like that. Now, I do have an anxiety disorder. I have post-traumatic stress disorder, which does affect me at night, only at night. And so that might have something to do with it, but it was a significant effect. Now, I was awake a lot through the night. You can see in that graph, it shows I think it'll be up there, the awake time is at the top, the REM sleep is the middle bit, and then the core sleep is there, I think. They could be the other way around. And then there's the deep sleep and that it shows. So you can see that I didn't get much of that. Deep sleep usually for me only occurs right at the start of the night in the first few hours, but because I was awake so much last night, and it happened again. So I'm feeling very tired today. It's very poor quality sleep. Was it down to this sheet? It was. I'm telling you it was, because everything else about my day yesterday was normal. However, I did have a calorie deficit yesterday. But I'm used to that, and that doesn't usually affect my sleep like that. So, what else did I experience? I experienced some changes in myself. I broke this finger about 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, and it doesn't straighten properly anymore. There was an ache. After a few hours of trying to sleep, my finger started aching again. Now, I've not had that for probably about a year after I broke it. And so something definitely going on around inflammation sites in my body. I'm a very sensitive person to energy. It's how I can do my tarot work and everything. And I'm very sensitive to my body too, feeling what's going on inside. I'm one of those rare people. I can actually feel my heartbeat. Like, I don't need to do this to feel my heartbeat. I can feel what's going on in my body. And so there's that. So signs of inflammation being sorted out, or something going on with that. I felt a kind of a buzzing sensation. Now, I realized I don't think I've ever slept on the ground outside. I've been camping and all of that, but there was always a plastic ground sheet underneath me. I don't think I've ever slept on the beach or anything like that. I don't think I've ever slept in contact with the earth. And so this will have been the first time I ever tried to sleep in contact with the earth. So it might just be really unusual for my body to experience that. I did notice some effects, blood circulation effects. It felt different last night. It did feel as if sometimes my heart rhythm wasn't as consistent as it usually is. Now, usually when I'm sleeping, my heart rate goes down to 40, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and I'm extremely relaxed. I've got a very low resting heart rate because I'm an athlete, and it felt like I didn't get that usual rest, that usual dip in my heart rate. So I did feel some blood circulation. I can't really pinpoint that though. I did feel some changes there. It didn't improve my sleep. It disrupted it. However, I do often have effects like that with new things, be it superfoods or any healing thing, in fact. You know, like when you're doing a detox and you don't feel great, it's like that. There's a healing effect from it. Now, this morning I had some, that's the other thing as well. As I was not sleeping last night, I was feeling my digestive system, let's say, loosening up. You know, when you can feel your food going through you, and yeah, and it all came out this morning. So it did have that effect too. It had a healing effect on me. and it's disruptive kind of a healing effect. Didn't feel rested this morning. I tried to stay asleep. I put my eye mask on so that the sun wouldn't wake me up in case. I put that on at about 4 a.m. In case I could sleep in, and I did probably until about 8 o'clock. That's unheard of. I'm usually jumping out of bed like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning before my alarm goes off at 6:30. It's just my watch alarm. Very rare that my watch alarm wakes me up, but yeah, the lack of sleep. But as I said, I'm going to stick with it. I didn't say that, but as I said, it feels like a healing effect to me, and so I'm going to stick with it. What else did it say? Yeah, but we'll see. I feel rested I feel recovered from the exercise that I did yesterday. So, but I usually do after a night's sleep. That wasn't a particularly good night's sleep. And so perhaps it did have an effect, cancelled it out. You know what I mean? For a poor night's sleep I had on the sheet, perhaps gave me slightly better sleep. With the mat underneath my desk, I have noticed that my feet kind of buzz. It feels a bit buzzy, a bit tingly on the soles of my feet when I'm using that, but I didn't really notice any other effects from that. Brenda Cat has walked over the mat as well. She's not been on the sheet, but she walked over the mat. I didn't notice any particular, like she didn't hesitate or she wasn't curious about it or anything. She was just doing her usual going around my feet and biting my Achilles heel. So yeah, I am going to stick with it. I'm going to keep going with it, and hopefully I'll have a better night's sleep tonight. I'm feeling irritable today. It's a good thing it's a Sunday. As I said, my day of rest, so I don't do exercise on a Sunday generally, unless I'm feeling amazing and I didn't do that much during the week. Then a walk on the beach or a hike in a jungle hike if it's cooler weather, not in this hot weather. Anything like that I will do, but like no weightlifting. Oh, sometimes I do. It just depends how much I've done in the week. But yeah, Sunday tends to be my day of rest for my body. If I haven't had a complete day of rest, then I will give it that. So no intense activity. Just gentle activity, but I think I'm just going to be lazing around the pool reading today and really taking it easy so that I can recover. I am kind of impressed. I'm kind of impressed that I felt a healing effect of it. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else that I felt. I was surprised at the ache in my fingers. I know when you've broken something and you're getting cold weather, it can start aching again, you know. But yeah, I was surprised at that. I don't feel it this morning. So I'm going to keep going with it and see what happens. That's my first impressions. I'm going to persist because I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to be a good thing. And I think once my body gets used to it, then I should be able to sleep well. Now, I am the kind of person, because of my anxiety disorders, I find it very hard to sleep in new environments. If I'm around other people as well, you know, in shared rooms and things like that, I tend not to sleep at all. My anxiety just doesn't let me get to sleep because I've got post-traumatic stress disorder and about people attacking me in the night as a child. So it triggers me if there's people have access to me. It's like my body, it can't fully relax and sleep properly. And so it's not new to me to spend nights awake like that. So it could be my sensitivities in that regard, in my anxiety that caused this. I must say I was interested, perhaps a little anxious about sleeping on this sheet and if I'd noticed differences. So it could be that, you know, that placebo kind of effect or me hyping myself up about it. I mean, I wasn't worried or anything like that. It felt more like an interest, but I don't know. What is normal? How does normal feel? Who knows? I certainly know that I have got very little anxiety now compared to my younger self. But whether that is, and whether now I feel anything like other people that haven't had trauma, I have no clue. We don't know how each other feel, right? We don't know what is normal. And so all I can relate it to is myself and my own experiences. And yeah, I feel a healing effect of it. but it's in that phase where it's disruptive right now. I'll keep going with it and I'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click like before you click off down there and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully after I've had a lot of good sleep.